Good evening and welcome back to my channel. This is JABOLKO Thread and I share live issues. Today is Mothering Sunday all over the world and we also celebrated it in our church. This is a shout out to all the mothers out there. I don't know how many of you are in love with the Red Rail project in Lagos, which the president just commissioned not quite long ago. It's coming up with several, about 8 train stations across Lagos alone. And you know what this means? Many job opportunities are going to spring forth. I'm loving the fact that even the president said we must not rest on our oars. There's a lot of job to be done.
It is when the home is at peace and you can think and do the job. When you put people at the central focus of your vision and planning, you will realize the value of democracy. I could hear a lot of noises right now. I live with it. I asked for this job. I cannot complain. It's all about democracy. That's one thing I know definitely, is that there's a very bright light at the end of the tunnel. I speak to Nigerians through this podium that change is possible and change we must achieve. As we inaugurate the first phase of the Red Line, we cannot afford to rest on our oars. I could see massive economic opportunity coming out of this. Allow me to throw a jab here. The labor union should understand that no matter how much we cling to our freedom and rights, to call for strike within 9 months of an administration is unacceptable. If you want to participate in the electoral process, wait on the 2027. If not, maintain peace. They are not the only voice of Nigerians.
If you listen to his speech along the line, he said that I cannot complain because I asked for this job and that it's democracy. Fine, his government has been tumultuous with so much unrest, in so much potential strikes here and there by the labor unions, which along the line even took a jibe on labor itself, that they are not the only voice representing Nigeria. But let's pay particular attention to what he said when he said that there's light at the end, there's hope at the end of the tunnel, which means there will be light at the end of the tunnel for Nigerians. This is a very good project. It was actually also inspected by Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State. Along the line, when the president was speaking, he said that I think about some 20 years ago, he had sent some of them out to other countries to go and see what was going on in those countries, so that when they come back home, they will replicate what they have seen there, or what they had seen there. This goes to a visionary leadership in what I'm saying in President TINUBU. Let's just give him some time and see how this whole state, this whole country would be. Look at what is happening in Abia State. It is still under his tenure that Abia State is celebrating light sufficiency. Think about it. All the governors are doing their best to perform, even though they are being faced with tough times. This is the truth. And I like what the president is doing. He went for the inspection itself himself and he commissioned it. we must not rest on our oars. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Nigeria will be great again, but we only need leaders who will be tenacious in what they are doing. I'm told about 8 stations are springing forth, and I think I could just quickly name them here. I may not really have them offered, but I'm just going to try my best to make sure I'm named them. One is Oyibo Station, 2 Yaba Station, Mushin, Oshodi, Ikeja, Agege, Iju, and Abado train stations. This is about a 37-kilometer train railway line and all of that. All this will come to fruition very shortly. The locomotive industry. Think about the jobs that are going to come in. Think about carriage of goods and services that will be for the common man. I think along the line, he also said modern transportation system that works for highest number of people. I had to look it up. That was in his speech because he's thinking about the general good of everyone. I have never entered a train in my life, but I've actually seen a train live when I was in Port Harcourt some years ago when I went to write an international exam. And this is what we find in other climes, especially in foreign climes, where much of ordinary transportation, you riding your car is not really much there. You are meant to go into the train and make life easy depending on where you're going. Your commute will be by train and you have to keep to time. This will provide jobs, as I said earlier. Ghana is not left out. I would also show you the videos that Ghana is also striving to make sure that this is accessible by the ordinary man. They've even taken it a step further to make sure that you have a card you're using to pay so that funds would get back to the state system. This is what praising. I don't know what you're thinking of, but this is what praising. That this government is actually thinking of the ordinary man. Forget about the fact that times are tough and the petrol subsidy is here to stay. Alright, aside from that, let me take you to a country called Japan. I was quite shocked. There's a lot of culture shock you're gonna see. That people are celebrating genitals. They even have the other one that they call Naked Men Festival. But today I'm gonna show you the one they call Penis Festival. They call it the Kanamara. And I was actually shocked. Lots of us that are going into foreign lands, we do not know what to expect again. Because the things we call here or we look as if are like holy of holies, but they are taking it very light. For them, it's their culture. And what shocked me the most about Japan, this Kanamara festival, is the fact that their birth rates are quite low, quite down. So how come they are celebrating this Kanamara so much with so much vivaciousness, so much life? But at the end of the day, the birth rates is wrong. Even the Naked Men Festival, when it was actually celebrated some time ago this year, you find out that they've started allowing women to come in. Because, of course, before now, it wasn't meant for women. It was only for men. But there is a declining population. And the aged ones can no longer take it. I was surprised. Take a look at the video and you'll be seeing it for yourself. They're even crafting sweets, things with genitals, genital celebration. You could see a cucumber, but in the form of a PS. What is hallowed in our country is not hallowed in some other climes. So it's good to know these things out there as I'm sharing it to you. This is sharing live issues. I don't know what your thoughts are, but this is also a country who doesn't value much of LGBTQ. So for them, this is an alternative so that you could have interest in the opposite sex. But it shocks me because this is purely an antithesis where the opposite sex doesn't even have to have high birth rates. And you seem to see the people there. I don't know what kind of lifestyle I should say. Just a very cool lifestyle on an ordinary day where they don't really reach out to a brother. In fact, there was a time, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, in Japan, they had to try to make a law where they can now start drinking alcohol because maybe through alcohol, their birth rates would increase. Africa is known for high population. That one is, you can't joke with it. But these are things happening in other climes, and I thought to share it to you so that you get to know what is happening. See how the people are rejoicing. See how the people are happy. Take photos, do anything you want. All they are celebrating is just Penis Festival. It's a shock, isn't it? It shocked you, in the words of Brother Shaggy. It shocked you? It's a shock to me. But it's good that globalization is making me see things thousands of miles away, but I'm seeing it through the phone, and I thought to share it with you. This is Sharing Live Issues. Do have a lovely day, and don't forget to share this video to your friends so that they get to know what's going on. And just recently, also in another twist, Hebegwiwe was just laid to rest, and you foresaw the fact that a Muslim got a brother and a family member in the name of Hebegwiwe when he thought that he would be sent out of his country, like being banned. It was Hebegwiwe that was there for him. And even when he was making his speech, he was so emotional he had to cry. Someone had to come in, a fellow brother, and then stood like an angel covering him, because you shouldn't see the emir or the king crying in tears. And then the governor of Abia State was there to console him. It was a touching moment for me, and I just thought to just say it in passing, that at times your brothers may not necessarily be those in your bloodline. Go and be useful while you're alive. Do have a lovely day. Cheers.